from the Bay Area's local news station. You're watching KRON4 News.
The sexual harassment that is alleged in the lawsuits includes lots of crude comments about women's bodies, buttocks, breasts, men putting hands on our clients' bodies.
Now at 10, allegations of sexual harassment at the Tesla factory in Fremont at the same time that police are investigating a homicide at that facility.
Then, as police across the state and the Bay Area continue to try to solve the ongoing problem of retail thefts, law enforcement looking into how the groups are actually organizing.
In my career, I've never seen anything like this. However, criminal organizations are always going to leverage technology.
Good evening. Welcome to KRON4 News at 10. I'm Ken Wayne.
And I'm Pam Moore. We're going to have much more on the smash and grab story in a moment, as well as the bombshell announcement tonight that the Santa Clara County Sheriff, Lori Smith, has been indicted for corruption and misconduct.
But we begin tonight in the East Bay, where electric car maker Tesla is facing more accusations of sexual harassment. The lawsuits filed in Alameda County allege an unwanted sexual culture at the company's Fremont plant, along with other facilities.
KRON4's Dan Thorne is talking with an attorney representing 6 women making these claims. And Dan joins us live from our newsroom tonight with more on this. Dan.
Pam and Ken, these accusations come just a day after Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, was named Time's Person of the Year. The lawsuits allege the women were subjected to constant sexual harassment at the workplace. And while complaints were made about this behavior, nothing was done. Rampant sexual harassment, including catcalls and unwanted touching, are at the center of new lawsuits against Tesla. Current and former female employees described the factory floor of the company's Fremont plant as a crude frat house.
The rampant harassment is really very reminiscent of like what a 1970s construction zone might be like, or the kind of archaic environments that used to exist in some workplaces.
Attorney David Lowe is representing 6 women who filed the harassment suits. 5 of them worked in Fremont, while 1 worked at a service center in Southern California. In one suit, a Tesla worker named Michaela KRON4 accused her supervisor of telling her she had a, quote, big butt and that she should dance, along with other brazen sexual comments. A separate suit filed on behalf of Alize Brown, who worked the night shift at the Fremont factory, alleges a colleague would call her a, quote, cow who was milking after she had given birth.
One of the hardest things for our clients is that in some cases it was leads or supervisors who are participating in the harassment, and our clients as a result felt that they had nowhere to turn.
Lowe and his clients believe the toxic culture at Tesla has been inspired by the tone from the top. Outspoken CEO Elon Musk, who has taken a liking to Twitter to make major announcements, has also been accused of sharing sexist views on the platform. In October, Musk suggested starting a new university called the Texas Institute of Technology and Science. The name breaks down into a sexual acronym. The lawsuits are seeking 3 outcomes: accountability, compensation, and putting a stop to this behavior at Tesla.
It's really incumbent upon Tesla to step up and rectify the situation and put a stop to the harassment and create a safe working environment for its employees.
The new lawsuits come after a jury decided in October that Tesla should pay a black ex-employee more than $130 million for ignoring racism at its Fremont plant. Tesla has 30 days to respond to these lawsuits, and we've reached out to the company for comment, and as of this report, they have not responded. Reporting live in the newsroom, Dan Thorne, KRON4 News.
Dan, thank you for that. We are also learning new details into the homicide investigation at the Tesla factory in Fremont. That includes a first look at the suspect and the alleged weapon that was used in the case. Our Grant Lotus joins us here in the studio with that part of the coverage tonight.
Yeah, Pam, learning more about what police say may have led to this killing and then where they found the alleged killer. Police say that the man found dead yesterday in the factory parking lot say he was killed by a coworker, and the shooting, it happened yesterday at the factory on Fremont Boulevard. Police say the victim had just finished his shift when he was shot. They say he had been arguing earlier in the day with the suspect. Police identify the suspect as this man, 29-year-old Anthony Solima. They say he had suddenly walked off the job, did Solima, after that argument. You saw his mugshot. That has been released today, along with the news that police tracked him down at his home in Milpitas last night. They arrested him there. They say Sulema immediately surrendered. Officers say they found a loaded .223 caliber short barrel rifle. You see it there in Sulema's vehicle. And they say that's the same caliber as shell casings found at the scene. Tonight, police say they do not believe there are any other suspects, and Sulema has been booked into the Santa Rita jail. The identity of the victim has not been publicly released. That is pending confirmation from the coroner's office. We'll keep you posted there. Pam, Ken, back to you.
Thank you, Grant. Major budget cuts are coming to the San Francisco Unified School District. The school board has voted 6-1 in favor of the changes. The district is facing a $125 million budget shortfall for the next school year. If it does not resolve the shortfall, the state says it will step in and take over. The board voted to slash the budget by about $90 million, which includes cutting $50 million in funding for individual schools. $10 million would be cut from student services programs. Administration and operations services would be cut by $20 million, and almost 400 jobs would be slashed. The superintendent released a statement about the cuts that reads in part, quote, "We are committed to continuing to work with the Board of Education, families, students, and staff to develop a sustainable budget that prioritizes the most effective ways to increase and improve services for our students. If revenue projections improve, the highest consideration for funding will be given to school site budgets, direct services, and central office services that most support students," end quote.
Now to another big story we are following tonight. Detectives continue to investigate the role social media plays in these large retail thefts, like the ones we've been seeing lately across the Bay Area. Law enforcement leaders say many times social media is used to organize and bring these groups together, much like what we've seen in San Francisco's Union Square and in Walnut Creek at the Nordstrom store last month.
KRON4's Taylor Brasacki talked with a retired FBI agent about how this is changing the scope of organized crime, and she joins us now live in our newsroom with more. Taylor.
Well, this leveraging of technology, of social media, makes it that much harder to track down these criminals because most times these people are anonymous online. Plus, on some of these platforms like Snapchat, messages immediately disappear.
Scenes like these, flash mobs of people storming retail stores, stealing everything from designer handbags to jewelry, are becoming more violent and more organized. Law enforcement says most of these groups are planning their attacks through social media.
This is unlike anything law enforcement has ever seen. And what's interesting is this is an evolving crime trend. I mean, while you have some groups that are highly organized, you also have others that are opportunistic, where you've got leaders that are putting things out in private groups on social media. And it's like you said, it's much like a flash mob. Show up at this store at this time, and this is what we're going to do.
Retired FBI agent Michael Anderson says social media's anonymity makes it incredibly difficult to identify all who are involved. Plus, he says some technology companies make it harder to access information.
Some companies either don't keep the information, so they like the anonymity, or they use encryption that makes it difficult to provide it to law enforcement.
It's what happened here at the Louis Vuitton store in San Francisco and the Nordstrom in Walnut Creek last month. According to a Wall Street Journal report, the thieves used Snapchat to organize beforehand. However, Snapchat responded to our questions about this alleged activity happening on their platform, writing, quote, "This type of activity is a clear violation of our guidelines and terms of service. In this case, we have looked into these reports and haven't yet found evidence of it happening on Snapchat." Attorney General Rob Bonta addressed the use of social media in these rampant retail crimes in LA on Tuesday, saying it's important to go after the higher-level thieves calling the shots, most of whom aren't new to organized crime.
These are not necessarily new organized criminal groups that are popping up and committing organized retail theft for the first time. It's a pre-existing organization in a lot of cases.
Now, to prevent these crimes from happening in the first place, Anderson says law enforcement and prosecutors have to target the people that are fencing it, the people who are buying and selling these stolen goods. Ken, Pam?
Taylor, thank you. The CHP announced today its organized retail crime task force, along with the SFPD retail theft unit, arrested 2 people they believe are involved in a large theft ring. They say the suspects in that ring have stolen more than $200,000 worth of merchandise in recent weeks. The discovery was made after executing a search warrant in Vallejo late last week, and this is when investigators found a large amount of goods, which they say were taken from Bay Area stores, including the CVS, Victoria's Secret, Gap, Target, Nordstrom's, Walgreens, and many more. No word yet if any others are being sought in connection to this particular retail theft ring. Retail theft is also an issue in Southern California, where the LAPD is adding extra patrols. That's after 3 smash and grab robberies were reported at T-Mobile stores in the San Fernando Valley. Officers say 3 suspects stole an unknown amount of merchandise late last night. There were also similar incidents in neighboring areas, although it's not clear right now if the same suspects were involved in those break-ins as well.
In the South Bay, a big story tonight. A grand jury has indicted longtime Santa Clara County Sheriff Lori Smith over her alleged actions in office, and reaction to this bombshell announcement is pouring in tonight.
Yeah, earlier today, a civil grand jury indicted Sheriff Smith on 7 counts of corruption and misconduct in office. Tonight, a number of leaders are calling for her to resign now. KRON 4's Jonathan McCall is here. He has reaction and what comes next in this process. Jonathan.
Pam, Ken, good evening. All the details of that indictment laid out in this 8-page report released this afternoon. For months, there have been loud calls for Sheriff Lori Smith to step down from office after a number of incidents. This indictment could make that happen sooner rather than later. The details of this grand jury's bombshell indictment released this afternoon. 3 of the charges alone center on claims the sheriff was involved in granting concealed weapons licenses based on whether people were donors to her campaign, a member of the sheriff's advisory board, or prominent individuals in the community or those with personal connections to her. Those folks in the indictments are called VIPs. According to the indictment, the time frame for those first 3 counts happened from December 2015 all the way up until November of this year. 3 of those other charges focus on a San Jose Sharks game that the sheriff attended back in February 2019, where she allegedly received free suite tickets, food, and drinks costing more than $500, which is the gift limit, then failed to disclose the gifts. The 7th count accuses her of failing to cooperate with an internal affairs investigation into allegations of negligence involving an inmate that was hurt back in 2018. To break it down for you, here is a list of all 7 charges that the sheriff now facing tonight. You can see them all right there on your screen. We also have them posted at KRON4.com. Meanwhile, we were able to get this statement tonight from San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo, one of the most vocal supporters who has been calling for Sheriff Smith to step down. He says that, quote, the civil grand jury has spoken. Sheriff Smith need not wait for the decision of a criminal grand jury to resign. We also got this statement tonight from Santa Clara District Attorney Jeff Rosen, who said that it is a sad day for Santa Clara County and the women and men who proudly wear the badge. So here's what comes next in this process. The sheriff has a January 12th court date on these 7 counts. At that point, she can contest the charges against her. If she does, that then sets up a civil trial. If the jury agrees with the charges, she's then removed from office. Because of the conflict of interest in Santa Clara County, the DA, Jeff Rosen, will not be prosecuting this case. It will actually be the San Francisco District Attorney's Office who will handle going after Sheriff Smith. KRON 4 tonight reaching out to DA Chesa Boudin's office for comment, but so far we have yet to hear back from his office. We also reached out to the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office as well and the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors for a comment on today's indictment. We have yet to hear back. Earlier tonight, I was able to talk with Sheriff Smith's lawyer. He said that he will have a comment ready for us sometime tomorrow. We'll bring those to you. It should be noted, though, that Sheriff Smith is up for re-election next year, but so far has not announced any plans on whether or not she will run. Plenty of drama in the South Bay. We'll break it all down for you and bring you new developments as soon as they become available. Jonathan McCall, KRON 4 News.
All right, Jonathan, thank you for that. Meantime, in San Francisco, police are investigating a shooting that happened this morning in the city's Tenderloin neighborhood. According to San Francisco police, they say they found a 21-year-old man shot near Eddy and Van Ness Avenues around 10:45 this morning. Investigators say they think the shooting is related to a drug deal. No word so far tonight on the victim's condition or any potential suspects that police are looking for. And speaking of the Tenderloin, today Mayor London Breed announced several new initiatives today to address public safety concerns in that neighborhood, including things such as making more arrests to address the issue of illegal drug use in public spaces. KRON4's Rob Nesbitt has that story.
And less tolerant of all the that has destroyed our city.
Mayor Breed not holding back and cracking down, saying public drug use like this will not be tolerated in San Francisco.
We are not going to just walk by and let someone use in broad daylight on the streets and not give them the choice between going to the location we have identified them or going to jail.
She says the Tenderloin emergency plan is already underway, joined by Police Chief Bill Scott Tuesday to promise more arrests.
People will not be allowed to smoke meth, to smoke fentanyl, to inject heroin in their arms in public spaces.
Chief Scott says his officers need more resources to be able to do their job safely and effectively, describing scenarios where 24-hour surveillance of certain neighborhoods works.
They make an arrest, they're out of the field. 30 minutes later, I go back, and it's like we've never been there.
Mayor Breed's office also plans on making smash and grabs less common by disrupting the illegal street sales of stolen goods, but says an amendment to the city's surveillance ordinance needs to be made, using the smash and grab at Louis Vuitton last month as an example.
Where there were multiple robbery crews hitting multiple stores, they couldn't even access those cameras, which is ridiculous.
When it comes to drugs, emergency management in San Francisco will still be providing community outreach to help with addiction and mental health services. But Mayor Breed says this is not the time to do nothing.
People have to be held accountable for the crimes they commit in our city.
In San Francisco, Rob Nesbitt, KRON4 News.
Sign a petition for a driving infraction or go to jail. Those were the two choices given to a UPS driver in San Francisco. The driver, who is a black female, believes that she was racially profiled. The incident was recorded on her cell phone. It has gone viral. And for the first time since it happened, she talked to KRON4's Hazik Matyun in an interview you will only see here.
For doing my job, delivering packages, they are going to arrest me, they say, because I'm not signing anything. I'm not signing anything. I'm not signing anything.
Is only a promise to impair. Should you refuse to sign the citation, you're subject to arrest pursuant vehicle code.
No, I got in my truck and I cried hysterically. I called my boss and told them that I was just about to get arrested for double parking.
It happened back on December 7th at around 11:30 a.m. on Haight Street near Masonic in San Francisco. That is where UPS driver Nakisha Ferguson was double parked while delivering multiple packages at a mail depot.
I am a UPS driver in full brown delivering packages.
Why was she double parked?
I pull over everywhere on this street. There's nowhere for me to park. I go up and down the Haight. It's rare to find parking in San Francisco. You get civilians parking in commercial zones.
Anyone familiar with the parking situation in San Francisco knows you can drive for blocks, day or night, without finding a parking space. What used to be available street parking is now occupied by restaurant parklets and bike share docking stations. At this point, delivery drivers double parking in SF are part of the landscape. In fact, it is something Ferguson says she has been doing as an employee for UPS for over 3 years.
I never knew that they pulled over people. I see UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, Amazon drivers, everybody double parking to deliver.
However, this is the first time she's been approached by police to be ticketed on the job. She believes the officers targeted her simply because she is a black woman.
I feel like if I wasn't this young black girl, I wouldn't have got a ticket. I probably would have got a warning. I would even got a siren, move your vehicle.
Nakisha Ferguson begrudgingly signed the ticket. This mom says she didn't want to go to jail for double parking. There is another reason she says she signed the citation. People are counting on those packages on her truck being delivered.
I just want to make sure that I can give them their product when they are supposed to have it. We deliver to businesses that keep the flow of San Francisco going.
I reached out to the San Francisco Police Department to give them an opportunity to explain what happened from their perspective. I received no reply. Hazik Madyoun, KRON4 News.
Now to the East Bay, where the Oakland Police Commission has hired the city's first inspector general. It is a move to increase the police department's accountability. Michelle Phillips has been appointed to the new role. She previously served as the deputy inspector general for the city of Baltimore. There, she streamlined and improved all aspects of the investigation units. Officials say the hiring is a turning point for Oakland and demonstrates the community's call for stronger police accountability. Reporting to the Oakland Police Commission, Phillips' role will be to ensure that the police department is performing to the highest standards. She will also review and investigate how Oakland is handling police misconduct cases.
Now to the 4-zone forecast, and Pam, there's been a lot going on in the weather department lately, but right now it's a very calm scene looking over downtown San Francisco.
But not for long. Our chief meteorologist Lawrence Cardinal standing by. First, we start with the cold weather details for tonight.
Yeah, getting chilly out there around the Bay Area. Many places are already down into the 30s outside. As that cold Arctic air behind that atmospheric river event settling in tonight, making for a chilly night out there right now. So these temperatures dropping off. It's going to get down to the freezing mark in some parts of the Bay Area, maybe even a little bit below. Clear skies out there right now. After that rain moved through, things settling down, and mostly clear skies out there now. Temperatures, it is 42 degrees in Half Moon Bay, 42 in Pacifica. That is cold out along the coastline. 37 in Dublin right now, 40 in Livermore, 41 degrees in Hayward, 45 in Oakland. Then we're starting to break out the 30s. Vallejo, 38 degrees, 34 in Petaluma. Check out St. Helena. They're hovering just a degree above the freezing mark at 33 degrees, 37 in Novato, and 36 degrees in San Anselmo and Santa Rosa. So cold temperatures around the Bay Area tonight. Yeah, we're going to be down in the 20s and 30s across many spots inland overnight tonight. 40s around the Bay, but yeah, it's going to be chilly out there. Here comes a cold front dropping back into the Bay Area. It's going to bring with it more rain as early as tomorrow. Is this system going to come in? Things clearing out though around the Bay Area tonight, and that's why that cold Arctic air is really kind of just settling in. So we're going to see a cold night ahead for tonight. Bigger changes in the long-range forecast. One front coming through. There's remnants of your atmospheric river headed all the way down into Southern California today. That moving out of town. Here's your next storm system dropping in as we head toward tomorrow afternoon. The rain should begin to pick up around the rest of the Bay Area. It'll take some time, so mostly dry to start out the morning, so the commute looks okay. By the afternoon, though, the rain begins to move in. More showers by the afternoon commute, and then it looks like it is going to be picking up into the afternoon. That's the very latest forecast, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Lawrence. It is a night that will go down in NBA history. Tonight, the Warriors guard Steph Curry broke the all-time three-point record at Madison Square Garden in New York. All he needed was 2 3-point shots, and he got those early in the game. He has now surpassed Ray Allen for the most career three-pointers ever made, and Allen was among those there to see that moment.
And among the many people offering congratulations to Steph Curry tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tweeted out this message, quote, "Your dazzling talent on the court and commitment to service our community brings great pride to the Bay Area." Our sports director, Jason Dumas, is going to have much more on Curry's achievement coming up later in sports tonight.
Still ahead tonight at 10, new research into the COVID vaccine's effectiveness against the Omicron variant and what's being done to try to increase it.
But first, how Bay Area businesses are involving customers in order to help feed people who are homeless this holiday season.